what all goes into decision making? Decision making is multifaceted, and part of that is guided by intuition. I haven't read it yet, but Blank, the book by Malcolm Gladwell, is The Power of Thinking Without Thinking. And also, if we think about it, perception is guided by our awareness. And dreams, whether we can't remember them, we forget about them, or we keep them in mind, affect us and our sources for our intuition and make us more aware of what is around us and what goes on around us. And what I was thinking about is, can there really be a distinction that separates the past from the future with what is called the present, the now? And what I'm talking about is in reference to dreams. Your dreaming self, your temporal, corporal body, is sleeping or daydreaming, but your mind is going somewhere else, and that is going to conflict with your present. So you are experiencing time in a completely different way. Now, imagine a painting. It's chaos, somewhat surreal. There's mismatched pieces. So if we consider time multi-directional in our dreams, we kind of have this compass that's going in all directions, and the arrow is pointing in all different types of directions, not just in one direction. So in dreaming, sometimes you can experience multiple phases of streams of consciousness. For example, there's a progression of altered states of consciousness where you have maybe shapes, and then they morph into more complex shapes and mismatched pieces of maybe plants or animals or even people in different ways that wouldn't really be realistic. If we saw this in real life, we would think we were going a little bit out of our minds. I think with dreams, sometimes we may be seeing different parts of space-time continuum. If you were to visit the future, you don't have a point of reference. So your mind is going to plug in things that will help you understand this future. So it's going to splice in images, faces, senses, and focuses in on things that you will need to recognize it all. So it's sort of a junk drawer of all these pieces that you would understand of this scene or this experience. And then your dream seams it all together, and makes it, when you come out of this dream, you have no idea what just happened. But sometimes your future catches up with you, and the pieces start to become clear. And so your dreams are kind of a MacGyver making something practical out of this junk drawer that you may or may not be aware of it. We are creatures of meaning, and we always try to figure out what could that dream have meant. Sometimes you just have to let it percolate for a while, leave it alone. I've had this happen where I revisit a dream, and then something that had happened to me in the past, it's like, okay, so that sort of makes sense with how it caught up with my waking reality. So we do need to take a balanced approach to dreams and intuition and decision making. But I think they are important factors in decision making that should not be ignored. So consider the next time you have a gut reaction to something. You may have had a dream, whether or not you remember it, and it was a dream of that future moment. And just to consider that maybe yourself is telling you something, that you should pay attention to that.